Do you see a brighter future in the next year or so? Is there any indications that as the economies reopen, small business will be able to come back?
Well, thanks for having me, Brian. It's a great question. We remain at Small Business Roundtable tremendously bullish on the small business community. There's no doubt that there will be a bounce back. That's the spirit of American entrepreneurship. But it is a tough road ahead. You mentioned the report we recently released, and we found that a significant portion of small business owners think it's going to take 6 months at least from today to really bounce back and to begin opening up and bringing back revenues. So we know that small businesses will recover, but many of the points that Kayla made about what the government can do to be helping out are really important because it's going to be a tough road ahead, but we are confident that when the economy totally reopens, that small businesses will be there on Main Street. But also importantly, something we found in this report, so many of them will have also adapted and moved online. One of the more compelling statistics from this report I found was that only 13% of small businesses are not using digital tools to increase their sales. So that means the vast majority of small businesses have found a way to also move their entrepreneurship online. And I think that's an incredibly telling detail about where we'll be going.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible there and helping them compete. I mean, I guess that's, John, the question is, in large parts of America, the only things open at the beginning of the pandemic were big box stores, basically government mandated shutdowns of all but a few essential stores because we were learning a lot about what exactly was happening during those terrifying first few weeks and months. Have small businesses been able to recover from that, or have we become, and I hope not, that we've become just a big box store / Amazon world?
I think it depends on the industry. I think some industries have found a way to be resilient online, but I think there are others, retail, restaurants in particular. We're really hopeful that the American Rescue Plan and what's going through Congress now can incorporate some of the provisions of the Rescue Act and really expand support for the restaurant industry, because that's one that you simply can't necessarily take online. There are others, smaller professional services that have found working remote and working online can continue to function. And I think to Kayla's point earlier about why we may not be seeing as much of a drawdown on PPP this time around is because some of those businesses may not have the revenue declines to qualify for that policy. But then we have a whole segment of businesses in retail and restaurant and others, specifics in construction or types of personal healthcare that simply have been shut down for a year.
Well, I mean, and that's John, and I put this on I think I wrote a little piece on LinkedIn recently about this. I don't understand these blunt instrument sort of cutoffs, not just for this, but for stimulus. Or, you're going to get a $1,400 check if you make less than this. If you make $1 more, you won't. We talk about 300-person businesses, down 25%. If you're down 24%, you're not getting a thing. I mean, I understand there's got to be some metrics, but it seems just honestly stupid to have these hard cutoffs where if you did this and you're 1% above it, you're not going to get it. Are you guys pushing back to try to make it a little more malleable for companies and small businesses that are probably just ticked off? They may miss one of these key points by fractions.
I think you call out something that's really important is we need to have smoothing in these programs and something where you're exactly right. If you're just slightly too large or your revenues drop just slightly too little, that all of a sudden you don't qualify for these programs. I think that's something we are trying to address. The other thing we're trying to put in front of policymakers is you can't put a cliff on these things. We saw the damage that arbitrary cutoff dates did in the first PPP program, and it really hurt women. It really hurt minority-owned businesses. And we know that there was no reason to need to do that. And so this time around, we're telling Congress, don't just pick a date and say this program is going to end this date. There's going to be pain in parts of America for years to come. And small businesses are going to feel that pain. And so not only should we not have these arbitrary end dates, if there's money in the program, we need to leave the doors open. We need to make sure that this infrastructure for entrepreneurship is here for a while to come. And you're absolutely right. These cutoffs hurt small businesses.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.